We talk to the large language models. They answer you back. They write essays, quotes, poems, and sometimes heartbreaking human thoughts. But what are these things that we call the large language models? And more importantly, why do they work so well? For decades, we dreamed of machines that could understand language, not just because process it, but truly understand it. Every attempts rule-based systems that they did until now, they tried to handcraft the knowledge. For example, if you see this word, output that. They failed because language is messy, it's fluid, and it's infinite. Then something strange happened. We gave up on rules and we gave the data to the machine. Massive amounts of data, and out of that chaos, it comes the meaning. At its core, a large language model or LLM does one simple thing. It predicts only the next word. That's it. Every essay, every chat, even every thought that you see is just the model asking itself that what is the most likely next token in this sequence? But this simple goal hides something profound. Because if you can predict the next word well enough, you start to capture grammar, facts, reasoning, and even the emotions. You start to model how human thinks. Here is the problem. Human language is complex, ambiguous, and it has context. The word bank could mean that the river bank or financial institution. And the meaning changes with context. So how do LLMs know which is which? They don't know it exactly, not in the human sense at least. They infer it statistically from the patterns across billions of examples. Every sentence ever written becomes a clue. Every token is a puzzle piece for the large language model to create a sentence out of. Then in 2017, one of the single paper coming from the Google changed a lot of things in this area. Attention is all you need. It introduced the transformer architecture and sparked the revolution. Transformers stop processing text one word at a time, like RNNs or LSTMs. Instead, they looked at every word at once, measuring how important each word is to the others. This mechanism is called self-attention. It allowed the models to understand long-range context to capture meaning like never before. As we scale things in the models, more layers and more data, more compute, something unexpected happened. They started to reason, to follow instructions, to write codes, to explain jokes, or to summarize the history. Nobody programmed those abilities into these models. They emerged from billions of parameters shaping themselves around the patterns of human thought. So when you prompt, for example, once upon a time in the world of robots, from that single phrase, the model can continue on an entire story. It's because it's learned which words tend to follow which. But those probabilities aren't just numbers. They encode meaning. They form a map of how we think, and that's a real magic. But you may ask what large really means here. The L in LLMs, which is large, isn't just for show. It refers to the number of parameters, tiny adjustable weights inside the neural network that can be tuned. Think of them as billions of little knobs, each one tuning each word related to each other. GPT-3, for example, had 175 billion parameters in it. LLaMA 3, it has even more. Each parameter captures a fragment of linguistic intuition in itself. Together, they form a vast web of relationships. It's kind of learned map of the language itself. When you hear the cat sat on the something blank, you instantly think math, not because you memorized it, but because your brain learned patterns from experience. LLMs do the same, except instead of years of conversation, they have read the entire internet. Here is the truth. Large language models don't understand like we do. They don't have beliefs. They don't have awareness. But they simulate understanding so convincingly, so richly that it feels intelligent. And maybe that's enough. You may also refer to this video about how AI can learn. They work because language itself contains structure, logic, and emotion. And by learning these patterns and scale, LLMs mirror a very fabric human communication. Until the next video, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Bye.